Before I start today's video, I just want to give you all a friendly reminder to not buy the new Pokemon card series from third-party vendors. And I'm talking about the new ones. I'm not talking about like vintage Pokemon cards, right? That's another story. No, I'm talking about the 151 Prismatic Evolutions and the new set that literally just dropped 2 days ago. Because if nobody's buying this shit, if there is no market for upcharged new Pokemon sets, then the value is going to tank. That's literally how it works. Quick sidetrack before we get into today's video, but the sneaker market is the perfect definition of this. See, in 2018, 2019, the sneaker market was at its worst. A pair of Jordans was going for $1,000, $2,000, depending on the model. Why? Because of scalpers. Sneakers were literally impossible to get back then without paying insanely overcharged prices. So what happened? Everyone was like, fuck this shit. Let me go be into literally any other hobby. And now that same pair of shoes that was going for $1,000 5-6 years ago is now worth like $130, $150. The exact same thing could happen to the Pokemon market if we just stop buying from scalpers. It's not that hard. It's not rocket science. I just have to vent about that real quick just because I'm so pissed off about what's been going on the last few days. More specifically, Destined Rivals. So let's get into it. But before we do that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm actually trying to gain my first subscriber today. I'm at 0 subscribers right now. So if I gain at least 1 today, I will down red 40. I actually really want to find out what this tastes like, bro. Gotta figure out what all the hype is about. Please subscribe to the channel. Anyways, so Destined Rivals, or as I like to call it, probably the most aura I've ever seen in a Pokemon card series, like, ever. Seriously, like, look at some of these cards. Like, some of these just go way too hard. Like, this might actually be the toughest Pokemon card series we've seen in a while. But, unfortunately, and I am so sad to announce this, but unfortunately, I'm not the only one that thinks this way. Because ever since Pokemon TCG dropped a series where all the Pokemon are literally just aura farming, scalpers have gone feral ever since, to the point where they are literally taking it out of the hands of literal kids. Yes, that is an unrelated, grown-ass man scalping out the entire Destined Rivals series. Watched like a good boy. What the fuck? This is the saddest thing I've seen all week. Not even embarrassed. That's how shameful these people are. And it gets really bad from this point on.
I have never witnessed someone scalp this hard. I thought I finally got a Pokemon restock, but then this happened.
Oh yeah. He's actually plugging me right now.
Y'all stood there and watched like good boys. Y'all should have just grabbed some off his cart. Plot twist, they were all scheming to jump this dude in the parking lot. Look, I'm not inciting anything, right? I'm not threatening anyone, but I'm just saying right now, if I'm hanging out with my friends and we pull up to Walmart and be like, hey, let's test our luck, bro. Let's see if we could get some Pokemon cards today. And I see a grown-ass man with a shopping cart full of Pokemon decks, bro, it's on site, bro. It's on site. Am I about to risk my whole YouTube career over Pokemon cards? I might. That's a joke, by the way. YouTube, don't take me seriously. This is just me venting. What I am trying to say, though, is people like this do not deserve basic rights.
All they have is Journey Together here, a bunch of singles, this, and they have a couple of these little optics. Other than that, they don't have anything. This store is dead.
See, what's wrong with those decks? Why isn't anyone scalping those decks? Oh my god, me saying CY turned on Siri. how does that even happen? Oh, it's probably because there's probably nothing worth it in there, right? Is that what's going on? I know this is like a unwritten rule at this point, but if you're only into a hobby solely for the monetary value, I think you should just get the fuck out, honestly. Like, seriously, look, all those Journey Togethers, like, hold on, wait, let me actually look this up. Is there anything rare in the Journey Together packs? Oh, so you can get EXs. Okay, so why don't people just buy it? See, I think the Pokemon fandom is genuinely so delusional at this point. It's fucking crazy. And me calling it a fandom is an overstatement, bro. Seriously. That's me being generous. And the reason I had to look that up in the first place is because I don't want to get into Pokemon. Like, seriously. I used to collect back in elementary school. A little bit of lore time. I got into Pokemon, like, around 2012, 2013, circa, if you will. I literally just recently want to get back into the hobby, right? Mainly because I stopped collecting Pokemon cards at around the Sun and Moon era, which is crazy to think about because that was 10 years ago. Sun and Moon came out 10 years ago. That is fucking crazy. I literally remember this shit like it came out yesterday. So yeah, I don't even want to get into Pokemon just because the hobby is horrendous right now. Anyways, I'm done talking about my life. But if you do care about my life, make sure you follow me on Instagram. I post on my story. I post memes that are straight fire, bro. I promise you, I post the best memes. So check me out on Instagram. Link in description. Anyways.
Destined Rivals release at Walmart. Let's see how this goes. I would say there was probably a line of about 10 to 15 people. There's the ETBs. I would say they probably got about 15, 16 ETBs and then some single packs as well. Also, 151 mini tins, which I grabbed 2 of. With the way that the chaos was going, we decided to grab an additional ETB and give it to someone who came later because there was a scalper, unfortunately, who just grabbed everything. Not any of these people, but someone later, so I'm glad that we grabbed an additional one because we actually got to make someone really, really happy. The person's face when we handed it to her, she was just so happy.
Okay, this is a fairly passive video. Not much shit talking I can do here other than notice how it's always just grown-ass losers, like 90% of the time. I'm not saying the person recording the video is a grown-ass loser, because like she said, she's there for the hobby. As a matter of fact, she actually gave some cards to strangers later on, so very generous, but it's like what is this fit, bro? Like, what is this fit right? Man, Walmart employees should start kicking scalpers out. Someone trip the scalper and take the stuff, please. Okay, hear me out. I have this crazy ass idea, but just hear me out for a second, right? I think the United States is known for, you know, pushing out very biased laws once in a while. You know, there's definitely a law out there where it's like, oh, you can't eat salmon on a Tuesday night alone. Some random ass state, otherwise you'll get charged like $300 in fines. So hear me out. Knowing that America can do shit like this, there has to be a law where if a Pokemon set released in the last year, you're not allowed to sell it on a third-party market. Either you'll get fined really badly or have to pay like 80% in taxes. Just hear me out. Hear me out, bro. This isn't Peepus politics, bro, but if we could get a law like that at some point, that would be diabolical.
Scalper and his friends clear out all the Destined Rivals ETBs, and 151 tins left nothing but 8 blisters and some boosters.
Hear me out. Just stop buying scalp products. Scalpers don't have infinite money. That's what I'm saying, bro, and nobody listens to me. Nobody listens to me. Everyone hated Jesus because he was right. Eventually, y'all will learn to not be scared and just grab some out of the cart and they pay. It's not stealing. And what's funny is this dude doesn't even look like the fittest person ever, bro. Like, I mean, it's no surprise. It's a scalper at the end of the day. This dude looks very pushable, right? I'm not saying throw hands with him, but you could definitely push this dude and just fucking take whatever's in his cart and pay for it, because I don't want to induce you guys to steal, because stealing is bad. Okay, I need to stop making comments like this because this video might be the end of my career. If I make one more comment like that, bro, my channel's donezo. Peeps Awesome does not condone stealing Pokemon cards from people's carts. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. The pacifist approach here is to just not buy from scalpers, because like that one guy said, scalpers do not have infinite money. Let's collapse the Pokemon market like we did with the sneaker market, right? The fact that I could just buy a pair of Chicago ones for give or take $200 is a dream come true, bro. And personally, I'd like to keep it that way. Bro, just take it out of the cart. It's not theirs yet. Anyways, that's all I really have to say for today. This was... Seriously, bro. I just want to get into Pokemon, bro. Why do adults always gotta ruin every hobby, bro? Like, Jesus Christ. I can't, bro. I'm gonna just stick to my Garden Warfare 2. I feel like that's pinnacle hobby right now. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna go now. So, yeah, I'm also gonna go hit the gym because that's what actual Pokemon fans do. They hit the gym. You hear that? Go hit the fucking gym. Alright, I'll shut up now. Alright, see y'all. Boom.